Hey guys, I thought I'd do an update on my Jaguar XF. I think the last video I did was last year, actually, 2015, and I thought I'd do an update on, the car's reliability, things that were issues when I got the car. And you can see I'm playing with my polarizer on my camera. I'm using a Canon SX60HS, and the polarizer actually does away with reflections. So when you're taking pictures of the car, you can see the bonnet it brings up all the gorgeous lines on the bonnet. It's just such a gorgeous car to look at. I love this car. So I'm going to get in the car and I'm going to start it up and show you a little bit of the interior again. I'll start it up. Air vents rise to greet you. Hello. This is the center screen. It has a reverse camera, which is very good. Now you'll notice there's a setting within the system that allows you to dip the mirror to whichever setting you want when you put the car in reverse. So I'm going to turn the dial to R, and when I do, check what the mirror does. It actually dips so I can see the curb when I'm backing up. So real nice feature, that very, very nice. This is the interior. The rear seats still in perfect condition, like new. The car has got 89,000 kilometers on the clock now, and I bought this car around about March or April in 2015 from a dealer called Westland Auto, or Westland Motors I think was their name, and I dealt with a guy called Jason. He was the salesman, and the experience that I actually had with these guys, I didn't buy it direct from a Jaguar dealer. These guys are an independent dealer, and I think the car had 86,000 kilometers on the clock when I bought it. So in a year I've done about 4,000 kilometers with this car, but it's all been long distance driving and basically trouble-free driving at that. Driving in the lap of luxury like this is really a pleasure, especially on a long trip. So Westland Motors treated me like a Jaguar customer. They really, Jason went out of his way to treat me like a king. I had the car shipped down from Johannesburg to Port Elizabeth, where I live, with a carrier, and they arranged everything. The car came with a maintenance plan which they arranged, and a service plan. So I really cannot complain about the service these guys gave me. They even gave me a rebate on a repair that the car needed, because there was something wrong with the I forget now. There was a noise coming from the front right wheel when I got the car, and I wasn't sure what it was. The dealer wasn't sure what it was. They suspected it was shock mountings, worn shock mountings, and they gave me a quote of, I think it was 4,500 Rand, which is equivalent to about $300. And when I called them to say, look, the maintenance plan people aren't going to pay for this, because the car just went on the plan, and you know, they consider it rather suspect that there's now a problem with the car. And you know, these guys, they just, it turned out it wasn't actually the struts. It was something to do with the front suspension control arm or something like that, some huge thing, which I have in my previous video. I did a video on what was actually faulty and what was replaced. The maintenance plan did cover one side, but they didn't want to cover the other side, so you know, it cost me quite a bit of money to pay for that, and they actually reimbursed me for that cost. So this dealer really stands by their word, and they stand by the cars they sell, and I'm really impressed with them. If I buy another car, because I don't buy new cars ever, I always buy used cars. They depreciate too much in the first year of ownership, so always make sure I buy a used car that's got low mileage and is very well looked after. So you know, this car has full service history. It gets serviced by Jaguar, and its next service is due in I think August this year. So in 8 months time or 7 months time, it'll be going in for its service, and it needs a gearbox service during that service, so it's quite a big one. But these guys really stand by the cars they sell. You know, they sell a lot of premium cars like Jaguar and Mercedes-Benz and Audi and so on. They have a website, and I'll put a link in the description below. If you're from South Africa and you're interested in buying a car, I could highly recommend buying a car from these guys. They are really honest people, really good people to deal with. And this car, I'm so happy I bought this car from them, because, you know, after those initial niggles were sorted out, I haven't had any problems with this car. It's just a fantastically reliable car. It's light on gas. You know, I mean, it uses 13.5 liters per 100 kilometers, and that's an average of, you know, between town and long distance driving, which I'm very happy with, because my Audi doesn't really get that. It's getting way worse than that. I think I'm using about, you know, 15 liters per 100 kilometers on the Audi, which is mostly town driving. Sure, it's heavy, and I'm using the aircon all the time, but it's quite heavy for a 2.4 liter V6, whereas this car is a 3 liter V6, and it's so light on fuel. You know, I mean, my Cadillac was a 3.6 liter V6, and that car used approximately 14 to 15 liters per 100 kilometers as well on a good day. So, and I didn't do any long distance driving with the Cadillac, so I can't really say what it's like on the long road, but it was a good car. I really like my CTS, but this car, I just love the dash. I mean, it's just a clean design. You know, it's got leather up here on the dashboard. It's all leather. You know, even there where the airbag is, the passenger airbag, it's got this brushed aluminium, which is, I don't know if you can see the texture, but it's got a very tactile feel to it. And then you got genuine wood. This is not fake wood. This is genuine wood. It's not plastic. You know, then you've got more wood down here. You've got aluminium, you've got leather, you know, everything's just leather and wood and aluminium. And, you know, even on the doors, you've got leather, you got wood, you got more leather. It's just, you know, phenomenal. And what I love is this car's sound system. You know, it's got a speaker over there, it's got a tweeter over there, it's got a speaker over there, and it's got another woofer over there. And in the back, it has a tweeter over there and a woofer over there. And hidden in the back, in the parcel shelf, it has a subwoofer. So this thing's sound system will put anything to shame. I don't know what do they call the sound system? Meridian? I think it's called Meridian. I'm not sure. There are a lot of cup holders. This is my gum. and there are a lot of cup holders in the car, more than you ever need actually. I don't know what they were thinking. This is where my DVR plugs in, and you can see there's my DVR over there, and that's what it's showing on the screen. Now this DVR is, I think it's called an Ambarella A7LA50D or 0860 or something like that. I'll put a link to the description where I bought it. I bought it on AliExpress, naturally, where I buy all my technological stuff. And this little thing, you'll see that part of it there, which sticks to the windshield, is actually the GPS. So this thing records how fast you're going, records your mileage, records the date, records how fast you were going, and it records where you were. So when you actually put the SD card into your computer, it has a software that you can just click on the SD card, which that thing actually installs on the SD card when you format it, and you just open that on the SD card, and you can then watch your movement on a map, and it uses Google Maps to do that. So it's really, really good. I have DVRs in all my cars because of the fact that in this country only 30% of vehicles on the road are actually insured. The other 70% are not insured, and insurance is not compulsory. So unfortunately, one has to protect yourself. You know, you can have somebody driving some old piece of crap, and then they ride into your car and they want you to pay to repair their car. They want your insurance to pay to repair their piece of crap. So I keep a DVR just for that very instance. And as you know, there are a lot of Russian car crash videos on YouTube, and that's mainly because of the same reason. A lot of poor people there, they can't afford to insure their cars, they drive pieces of crap, and they try and smash their cars deliberately into other people who have nicer cars, to try and claim from the insurance to get a better car. One of the things I just want to raise is, as you can see, here is a little dot on the wood trim, and it's touch sensitive. So when I touch that dot, my glove compartment opens, and that's how you open the glove box. Now, I've never had a problem with this. I've always just touched it and it opens. And I've noticed that on all the reviews they've done on the Jaguar XF, this model as well as the facelift model from 2012 upwards, they complain that mechanism, or whatever you want to call it, does not work. You've got to keep pressing it to get the glove box open. Now, quite frankly, I think those car journalists are full of shit, because you need to just touch it and keep your finger there. It's the same with the touch sensitive interior lights. You touch it, you keep your finger there. You know, if I do that, it's not going to work. And that's what these guys are doing. It works on the heat from your hand, from your finger. Same thing here. You just need to keep your finger there. I mean, is that so difficult for these guys to do? You know, they actually nitpick on things. They look for things to nitpick on, actually, and that's one of the things they nitpicked on reviews. On every single review I've watched on a Jaguar XF, they've nitpicked on that particular functionality of this car, and it is not a problem. It's just the idiot who's sticking his dumb finger there. So I actually just want to rebuke that. You know, Jaguar did a very, very good job engineering this car. You know, I mean, all these knobs and buttons, they have a very high quality feel to them. You know, it feels like metal. I'm sure it's plastic. These buttons are all plastic, but they feel like metal. I mean, this knob, this dial, has a metallic feel to it. It's like aluminium. This, I think, is stainless steel on the top. You know, so I'm just going to turn the car off. So I think, you know, the car has taken a beating from many journalists unnecessarily, and you can see the seats on my car are still fairly good, you know, for the mileage. And yeah, these carpets are a bit of a problem. They get dirty very easily, but I keep them clean, you know. Oh, what I wanted to do is, I actually have never lifted the hood on the car. So I'm going to get out, lift the hood. I've got to go around to that side of the car because, as you can see, there is the come on, focus. There is the hood latch. So I'm just going to get out, and the soundtrack from this car is so good. Love that sound. Just going to open the hood. Now, this is the 3-liter V6 engine. Not much to see, really. You can hear the direct injection ticking away there. The motor is just gorgeous, it's quiet. I don't really know what to say here because I don't know what's what. I don't know the car very well, not like I know my Audi. But I think this can do with a bit of a clean. I need to clean all this crap off. But very clean engine, like new. I'll just take a walk around the car. Use my polarizer to get it in the best light. Now, these wheels that I've got on the car are TSW wheels that I put on. I've got the original wheels in the garage, but the car just looks better with these wheels on it. It looks really mean. They are anthracite TSW Hurricanes, 18 inch, sorry. And they just make the car look so mean. And when I fiddle with a polarizer, you can see the lines on that haunch. They just change and accentuate. It accentuates the lines of this car. I mean, it's just so beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, this car's got 18-inch wheels on it. 245, 45 R18s. And these wheels are just really, really gorgeous. I love the way they twist and turn like that. And wherever I go with the car now, it turns heads. It turns heads. So this is an overall view of the car. And you can see the paintwork is absolutely shining, and the reason why is because I wax the car every 2 months. I wax the car, and I've got a polisher that I use, and I wax the paint with Carnauba wax. It's Maguire's Carnauba wax that I use. And when I bought the car, the paint was, I think, a little bit, I won't say worn, but it was tired because it had a bit of oxidization on it from standing out in the sun, you know, while it was waiting to be sold, unfortunately. And you know, when I got the car, it was very, very dirty as well. I gave it a wash. There were tiny little scratch marks on the paintwork, which I could see. I don't know if the carrier maybe tried to wash the car while they were transporting it because it got so dirty. But that didn't really bother me because I've got a good polisher, and I polished the car, and I polished a lot of the scratches out, and then I sealed it with a wax. And I wax it every 2 months. I give it a wax. The car gets washed every 2 weeks. It gets a wash, and that wax lasts about 2 months. So if you want your car's paint looking as good as this, I can highly recommend waxing it, because as you can see, you know, the paint on this car is just gleaming. It's beautiful. You can't see any scratch marks on the paint. You know, it's just smooth, it's shiny. If I throw a rag on the bonnet or the roof or anywhere on this car, it just glides right off. It won't even stay there because the paint is just so smooth and luxurious. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. And I'll put the link to Westland Motors down below. If you are from South Africa and you're thinking of buying a good car, you can go to their website and you can have a look at what they got in stock. They usually have Jags. They had about 3 or 4 Jags when I bought this one, and I chose this particular one because of the mileage and the color and the engine and the specs. But you know, they normally have a couple in stock. They've, you know, got some nice luxury cars there. So thanks for watching.